Namo Namaha. Welcome back, students. I hope that you all are doing fine. In today's online class, we are going to continue with the topic of Pratyaha. We are going to learn a new Pratyay today. Along with that, I'm going to discuss the topic for Sanskrit project. Yes, students, I'm going to give you a project based on Sanskrit grammar. So be attentive and be with me. Let's get started with the topic Pratyaha. Students, we have seen that the pratyayas which are added to the roots are called Krudanta Pratyaha, and we have learned Twa and Lyap Pratyay. Now in this session we are going to learn the new one, that is Tumun Pratyaha. So let's get started with that. Tumun Pratyay is used to indicate the purpose or goal of performing an action. And the verb form with the suffix tumun is translated as in order to or to. In Hindi, के लिए, जैसे हंसने के लिए, बोलने के लिए, खाने के लिए, करने के लिए, etc. And one more important point is, the root with tumun suffix is used as an indeclinable or avyaya padam. It means just like twa or lyap pratyay, Tumun Pratyay forms never get changed on the basis of lingam, vachanam or vibhakti. Let's try to understand it with the help of some examples. Yuvakaha chitrapata gruham gacchati chitrapatam pashyati cha. A young boy goes to cinema hall to watch a movie. Yuvakaha kimartham chitrapata gruham gacchati? Why does the young boy go to cinema hall? Yuvakaha chitrapatam drashtum chitrapatagruham gacchati. A young boy goes to cinema hall to watch a movie. The form drashtum is the example of tumun pratyay, and it means to watch, and it indicates the purpose of an action performed by that young boy. Let's see one more example. Balakaha gruham agachan jalam cha apiban. Children came home and drank water. Balakaha kimartham gruham agachan? Why did the children come home? Balakaha jalam patum gruham agachan. Children came home to drink water. So in this sentence, the word patum is the example of tumun pratyaya. It means to drink, and it indicates the purpose of those children coming back home. Chhatraha pathitum granthalayam gacchanti. Students go to the library to read. Kimartham? Why do they go to the library? And the answer is pathitum, to read. And it's the example of the verb form with tumun pratyaya. Devam pujayitum mata devalayam gacchati. Mother goes to the temple to worship the god. Kimartham? Why does she go to the temple? The answer is pujayitum, to worship. So this is the example of tumun pratyaya. So we can conclude that the forms like pathitum, pujayitum, drashtum, patum, etc., which are the examples of tumun pratyay, indicate the purpose of an action, and that's why they are called infinitive of purpose as well. Now let's see how to form these infinitives. Students, the suffix tumun can be added to both, to the root without a prefix or the root with a prefix. But when we add tumun, only tum remains and un is dropped. It means we actually do add tum to the dhatuhu or to the dhatuhu with upsargaha. For example, dnya plus tumun, we get the form dnyatum. Or if this dnya has a prefix, vi plus dnya plus tumun, we get the form vidnyatum. Students, while explaining twa pratyaya, I told you that there are two types of roots in Sanskrit. There are some roots which take the letter E while adding certain suffixes to them. These dhatus are called set dhatus, and there are some others which do not require this E, and they are called anit dhatus. So just like twa, while adding tumun pratyaya, set dhatus take E before it. For example, pat plus tumun. When we add tumun to this root, E is added between the dhatu and the suffix, and we get the form pathitum. Let's see one more example. Khad plus tumun. E is added between the root and the suffix tumun, and we have got the form khaditum. Kat plus tumun. Just like twa, while adding tumun, extra ay is added before E and tumun. So we get the form kathayitum. All the roots which are conjugated like the root kat take this ay before E and tumun. Students, now I am going to explain you the changes that take place in roots, especially while adding the suffix tumun. For example, antima swaraha, that is, the last vowel of the root takes guna. It means if the last vowel of the root is E or E, it gets changed into A. If the last vowel of the root is U or U, it gets changed into O. And if the last vowel of the root is R or R, then this R or R gets replaced with R. Let me explain it with an example. G plus tumun. Here the dhatu is G. If we will do the varna vinyas of this G, we will come to know that this G ends with the vowel E. E is the last letter of this dhatu. And as per the rule, E gets changed into A, and we get the form Jetum. So G plus tumun, the form is Jetum. Let's see one more example. Shru plus tumun. What is the dhatu here? The dhatu is shru. It ends with the vowel U. So as per the rule, U gets changed into O, and we get the form shrotum. Kru plus tumun. Kru. This dhatu ends with the vowel R. As per the rule, R gets changed into R, and we get the form kartum. I hope this concept is clear to you all. The next rule is about the change that occurs in upantya swaraha, that is the second last vowel of the root. Students, if the second last vowel of the root is rasva E, rasva U or rasva R, then these three get changed into A, O and R respectively when tumun is added to the root. Let me explain it with the help of an example. Lik plus tumun. If we will do the varna vinyasaha of this dhatu lik, then we will get the letters L plus E plus K. As you can see, the last letter of this dhatu is K, and E is the second last letter. So this second last vowel E gets changed into A, and we get the form lekhitum. Just as this E has got changed into A, U gets changed into O and R into R. For example, Kup plus tumun. The form is kopitum. Here, the letter U of Ku has got changed into O, and we have got the form kopitum. In the same way, Nrit plus tumun, the form is nartitum. Here, the vowel R of Nru has got changed into R, and we have got the form nartitum. Students, while learning the suffix twa, we have seen that the spellings, especially some letters or consonants of the roots, get changed. the similar changes take place while adding the suffix tumun to the roots. For example, ta of tumun gets changed into ta, dha or dha, because of which the roots also undergo some changes. Drush plus tumun, the form is drashtum. Lab plus tumun, the form is labdhum. Ruh plus tumun, the form is rodhum. If the dhatu is ending in the letter halant ma or na, then especially this halant ma changes to halant na. For example, gam plus tumun, the form is gantum. Nam plus tumun, the form is nantum. And han plus tumun, the form is hantum. And if the dhatu is ending in the letter j or ch, then this j or ch gets changed into the letter k. For example, tyaj plus tumun is tyaktum. Pach plus tumun, paktum. And much plus tumun, the form is moktum. Now we know that when we add tumun to the root, we actually do add tum. For example, dnya plus tumun, the form is dnyatum. Pa plus tumun, the form is patum. Ya plus tumun, the form is yatum. Dayach plus tumun, datum. Sthatisht plus tumun, sthatum. Students, a point to be remembered. Tumun pratyay is always added to the first form of the root. For example, da, yach, there are two forms, or stha, tisht, there are two forms of the root. But tumun is added to the first form of the root, that is da and stha. So students, we have seen what kind of changes take place in roots while adding the suffix tumun. You may find these changes complicated or difficult, but let me make them easy for you. Whenever we learn a new concept of grammar, we should always compare it with the previous one which we have already learned or we have studied. That makes us easy to memorize and understand the new form. For example, we have learned twa pratyay forms already. So if you will compare the forms of tumun pratyay with twa, you will find some similarities and differences. And these similarities or differences will make it easy for you to learn and memorize the forms of tumun pratyay. For example, pat plus twa, the form is patitva. We know that pat is a said dhatu. Pat plus tumun, the form is patitu. So the dhatus which take e while adding the suffix twa, the same dhatus take e while adding the suffix tumun. Isn't it easy? Let me give you one more example. Lab plus twa, the form is labdwa. And lab plus tumun, the form is labdhum. The same kind of change has taken place in the spelling of the root. So if you will observe them carefully, you will understand the similarities and it will be easy for you to use the tumun pratyay forms. Now let me show you such similar examples. Here are the examples of said dhatus. If pat plus twa, the form is patitva, then pat plus tumun, the form is patitum. Khad plus twa, the form is khaditva. So khad plus tumun, the form is khaditum. Raksh plus twa, the form is rakshitva. So raksh plus tumun, the form is rakshitum. Creed plus twa, the form is creeditva. So creed plus tumun, the form is creeditum. Save plus twa, the form is sevitva. So save plus tumun, the form is sevitum. Vand plus twa, the form is vanditva. So can you guess the form of vand plus tumun? Yes, you know it. It is vanditum. Isn't it easy? Here are the examples of the roots which are conjugated like the root kat. Kat plus twa, the form is kathayitva. So kat plus tumun, the form is kathayitum. Rach plus twa, the form is rachayitva. So rach plus tumun, the form is rachayitum. Chint plus twa, the form is chintayitva. Chint plus tumun, the form is chintayitum. And you can guess the answer to the last one. If pooj plus twa is pujayitva, pooj plus tumun is pujayitum. Right? Here are some more examples of the roots with tumun pratyaya which have the forms similar to twa pratyay. Nash plus twa, the form is nashtwa. So nash plus tumun, the form is nashtum. Lab plus twa, the form is labdwa. And lab plus tumun, the form is labdum. Sah plus twa, the form is sodwa. Sah plus tumun, the form is sodhum. Tyaj plus twa, the form is tyaktwa. Tyaj plus tumun is tyaktum. Pach plus twa, the form is paktwa. And pach plus tumun, the form is paktum. Students, just as there are similarities, there are differences as well. Some roots have completely different forms while adding the suffix twa and tumun to them. And these differences occur because some rules are applicable only when the suffix tumun is added to the root. For example, the dhatu ni plus twa, the form is nitwa. But ni plus tumun, the form is netum. Here E has got changed into A. Bhu plus twa, the form is bhutva. But bhu plus tumun is bhavitum. These differences can also help us to understand the forms. So now I am going to show you the examples of such dhatus which have differences in their forms with twa pratyay and tumun pratyay. The twa pratyay form of the root dayach is datwa, but tumun pratyay form is datum. Sthatisht plus twa is sthitva, but sthatisht plus tumun is sthatum. Gai gai plus twa is gitva. Gai gai plus tumun is gatum. Ni plus twa is nitva. Ni plus tumun is netum. Lik plus twa is likhitva. Lik plus tumun is lekhitum. Drush plus twa is drushtva. Drush plus tumun is drashtum. Dish plus twa is dishtva, but dish plus tumun is deshtum. Here are some more examples. Prach plus twa is prushtva, but prach plus tumun is prashtum. Ruha plus twa is rudva, but ruha plus tumun is rodhum. Gam plus twa gatva, gam plus tumun gantum. Man plus twa matva, man plus tumun mantum. Much plus twa muktva, much plus tumun moktum. Vach plus twa uktva, vach plus tumun vaktum. Vad plus twa uditva, vad plus tumun vaditum. In the examples vach and vad, va doesn't get changed into u while adding the suffix tumun. I hope that these examples have made the difference between the verb forms with twa pratyay and tumun pratyay clear to you all. So students, I would like to end my explanation part here. I hope you have understood the verb forms with tumun pratyaya. Now, as we usually do, I'm going to ask you questions based on the part discussed by us today. So take your time, solve the questions, and then go to the part where the answers are displayed. The first question is, Prakruti pratyayau sanyujya shuddham padam chinuta. You need to choose the correct form of the root with tumun pratyay. I'll read out the questions. The first one is, ni plus tumun. The second one is gum plus tumun. The third one is lab plus tumun. The fourth one is tyaj plus tumun. And the fifth one is khad plus tumun. I hope you are ready with your answers. So let me display them. The answers are displayed in red font. Ni plus tumun. The correct form is netum. Gum plus tumun is gantum. Lab plus tumun is labdum. Tyaj plus tumun is tyaktum. And khad plus tumun is khaditum. I hope your answers are correct. Now get ready to solve one more question. Prakruti pratyayayoho uchitam vibhagam chinuta. You need to disjoin the dhatu and the pratyaya and to choose the correct answer from the given options. The first one is kartum. The second one is pujayitum. The third one is jetum. Fourth one is pathitum. And the fifth one is deshtum. Are you ready with your answers? Let's check them. Kartum, the answer is kru plus tumun. Pujayitum, the answer is puj plus tumun. Jetum, the dhatu is ji and the pratyaya is tumun. Pathitum, pat plus tumun. And deshtum is dish plus tumun. I appreciate your efforts. Now it's the time to give you information about the project. In Sanskrit, the word for project is Pariyojana Karyam. And this Pariyojana Karyam of yours is based on the topic of Sandhi. Students, we have learned different kinds of Swara Sandhi, such as Dirgha Sandhi, Guna Sandhi, Vriddhi Sandhi, Yan Sandhi and Ayadi Sandhi. We have also learned two rules of Vyanjan Sandhi, Jashtva Sandhi and Ma Sthane Anuswaraha or Monuswaraha, and one rule of Visarga Sandhi, that is Visargasya Utvam. This project of yours is based on these 8 rules of Sandhi. The project is make a PowerPoint presentation on any 2 rules of Sandhi. Students, we have learned 8 rules of Sandhi in all. So out of these 8, you can choose any 2 rules and make a PowerPoint presentation based on those. You can choose the combination of 2 rules of different sandhis, like one rule of Dirgha Sandhi and the other one of Vyanjan Sandhi. You can also make the combination of Vyanjan Sandhi and Visarga Sandhi. The choice is yours. But make this PowerPoint presentation based on any 2 rules of Sandhi. The following points should get covered in your presentation. The first is Sandhi Niyamaha. The rule of the Sandhi chosen by you, you are going to explain that rule. The next is Sandhehe Udaharanani, the examples of how to make Sandhis based on that rule. And I want you to include minimum 5 examples of Sandhi. The next is Sandhi Vichedasya Udaharanani, the examples of how to do Sandhi Vichedaha. Again, I want you to give minimum 5 examples for this. Thus, your presentation should be including minimum 10 examples for each rule of Sandhi. You can add even more if you want to. And students, you can get these examples from the explanation part of mine. While explaining the rules of Sandhi, I have given some examples of Sandhi. You can refer to any grammar book which you have. You will get plenty of examples in it. and you will surely get the examples of Sandhi in your 8th standards textbook. Go through it. And also recently we have learned the lesson Swarnakakaha, and this lesson also consists of many examples of Sandhi. So explore different sources and you will get plenty of examples for your presentation. And I'm giving you full freedom to use your imagination and creativity. Make your presentation interesting and creative. And students, if you're having a query about how to get Sanskrit font or how to type in Sanskrit, then let me clarify it. You can add and change input languages to your keyboard. Go to language settings, then click on add a preferred language, and another window will open. Search for Sanskrit or Hindi language. Sanskrit and Hindi, both the languages use Devanagari script, so you can search for Sanskrit. If Sanskrit is not available there, you can go for Hindi as well. And when the languages will appear, select the language and click next to get it installed. Students, if you don't have Sanskrit or any Devanagari font installed on your computer or laptop, then you can download it. You need to search in Google how to download Sanskrit font on your PC. You will get various YouTube videos. You can check any of them and follow the instructions given in that video and get it installed. If you don't want to download any font, then there is another easy way. A link is displayed on your screen. Go on this website. It provides online Sanskrit keyboard. You can type the text that you want in your PPT there, and you can copy it and paste it in your presentation. It is the easy way to type and to get the Sanskrit text. Students, the first slide of your presentation should be consisting of your name, standard, subject and the topic. I'll repeat, the first slide of your presentation should be consisting of your name, standard, subject and the topic. You're going to create this presentation, save it in the pen drive, and you're going to submit it when you will get back to school. So enjoy this activity. Till then, Dhanyavadaha, Punah Milamaha.